Welcome along to De Goede, De Strange and De Jugsy, the podcast all about predictions from Paris for the field hockey at the Olympic Games. We've got an amazing array of guests throughout and hosts throughout the 2.5 weeks of the Olympic Games. Today's first podcast is actually all about Podium or Nodium. So a prediction of who is going to win in Paris or not, as the case may be. Now, we want you at home involved. So when you've listened to the podcast, please on social media, comment with Parisian hockey predictions as the hashtag. Let us know your predictions for each day. We'll be keeping score as we go. On our hosting team, as the name suggests, is a player who started at Phoenix Hockey Club in the Netherlands, went on to win 3 Olympic gold medals, 1 Olympic silver medal, and multiple World Player of the Year awards. Yves de Manior.
And you just heard from him, Dan Strange, one of the most knowledgeable and personable commentators working in sports broadcasting. While he covers a whole range of sports, particularly all manner of equestrian sports, hockey remains his number one. And I think he's one of those rare commentators who can appeal to both experts of the game and the general public. Dan is jargon-free. He also claims to be a true exponent of the game as a player. So that's Dan Strange for you.
And I would like to introduce a lady who calls herself quite the hockey tart. But we do know she's way more than just that. Because she's an author, she's a podcaster, a freelance writer, and a livestock farmer. Sarah Juggins, everyone.
And on the pod today, we've got the first member of our dream team. Now, the dream team throughout De Goede, De Strange and De Jugsy is going to be made up by an array of fabulous international hockey talent, players and umpires too, all of which have missed out on the Olympic Games in some way, shape or form in their career. Today, we've got Irish drag-flicking superstar Luke Madeley. Luke, just in brief, how much are you looking forward to watching the Irish lads at Paris this year?
Firstly, just thanks for the lovely introduction. Delighted to be here and excited to chat through all things hockey. Yeah, massively excited. I know all the hard work that's gone in. So yeah, really excited to just see how the boys get on and hopefully a few results.
Luke, just before we go on to the format, quickly, how is the injury? Because I know hamstring injury kept you out of Paris. A quick update on that?
Yeah, the injury is good. I'm back in rehab with my physio, so back running and hopefully back on the pitch soon with pre-season training. So
that's the news everyone wants to hear. Right, so what is the format of the next few weeks? Sarah Juggins, over to you.
So let me explain how it works. The predictions covering each match. We'll get 3 points for the correct score, whether that's a draw, a win, a loss. 2 points for the right winner, but the wrong score. And 1 point for calling a draw, but with the wrong score. And obviously, if you get it all wrong, then there's no points on offer at all. For podium predictions, it's 10 points for each team you correctly name on the podium. It doesn't matter whether it's bronze, silver or gold. It's getting those names right. That will get you 10 points per team. Now, we've got some umpires joining us and some umpires watching us as well. So we have to throw in a few rules. One of those rules is really aimed at all of us. There is to be no flagrant national bias. So we can't have Ava calling all of the Dutch team by their nicknames so that we're all left totally in the dark as to who she's talking about. Luke, you can't be calling Ireland winning 10-0. It might well happen. If that happens, then we're going for, ready for it, the silent bell. You'll see it, you might not hear it. There's also a green card and a point deducted if you break any of those rules. Now, one more thing, and this is a little bit of a secret squirrel, really. We've got 2 phrases which Dan and myself have identified as being universally loathed and hated, but used way too much. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but when they happen, you'll know all about it because you will again get the silent bell treatment. Predictions or scores, it lasts a quarter. It's 15 minutes. We'll start with a whistle, we'll end with a whistle. And we're certainly getting all of you guys at home, we're encouraging you to get involved. So leave your predictions underneath the video or on social media, and let's really get some ideas coming in and seeing who knows their hockey. Without any further ado, a big thank you to our guests, and I think Dan's about to blow his whistle.
It's time for Podium or Nodium, which we've stolen from a fantastic other podcast where we predict who wins at Paris 2024. So we're going to start in ladies pool A. I'm going to go around each of our guests today, and it literally is podium or nodium. You're allowed a short response as to why. Starting in ladies pool A with Netherlands, global dominators, reigning champions. Eva de Goede, I'm going to start with you, and I've got a feeling I know what the answer is going to be.
Yeah, that's going to be a podium for me.
Luke Madeley,
That's
do you
it.
back that up?
Yep, I think podium is probably the consensus on that one. Difficult to look past the Dutch women at the moment, so podium for me.
Sarah Juggins, podium or nodium? The Netherlands.
Without any shadow of a doubt, we're going podium.
So Netherlands are currently on a clean sweep here. Does anyone think they're not going to win gold, out of interest?
No,
I think it's going to be gold.
Resounding gold. And I'm going Netherlands as well in the women's to finish on the podium. Right, moving swiftly on. Their next door neighbours, or one of their next door neighbours, the Belgian women, a rising team under Raoul Aarons. So we'll go round again. Eva, Belgium women, podium or nodium?
That's a nodium for me.
Luke Madeley, Belgium, podium or nodium?
I might get a bit of stick from this, as a good few of the girls play in Gantoise, but unfortunately, I think they're just going to miss out. Nodium for me.
Nodium twice for Belgium women. Sarah Juggins, not going to call you Jugsy. Don't want to risk a green card for the 15,000th time in my hockey career.
May I pass on this one till the end of the section, because I've got a little helper with me for this one.
Okay, fair enough. So Jugs is going to wait, and you'll have to see who the helper is. I am going out there, and I'm going Belgium women podium on this one.
Sure.
I think Aarons has got them where he needs them, and they're improving all the time. Ava, clearly you disagree because you said nodium, but you're nodding your head as well.
No, it was a close one for me. I really was in doubt, but I think like they're really getting better, like you said, and they're really getting there with the top teams and even beating top teams. Like, I mean, they beat the Netherlands not that long ago, but I just don't think at like the level of the Olympics, at like on that stage with all that pressure, that they're right there yet. But yeah, it was a tough one.
Germany, next up in Pool A, Germany women. Ava, podium or nodium for
Am I the
Valentin?
one who has to start the whole time?
We're going round in an order here. It's all about format.
Oh, okay. This one is actually, I might get in trouble for saying this, but it's a nodium.
Nodium for Germany from Ava. Luke?
Yeah, this is a tough one for me as well. I think they're going to get to the later stages of the competition, and I'm just going to say podium. I think bronze medal for the German women.
So Luke's gone so far. Netherlands, Germany. Of course, remember, you have got a wild card, so it's 4 podium places essentially we'll be calling. That's a little bit of hedging, a little bit of sitting on the fence. Sarah Juggins, the German women, podium or nodium, remembering, what was it, gold back in 2004, missed out on a medal in Tokyo.
No fence sitting for me. They are a podium.
So Netherlands and Germany are also, Germany, a podium for me. So I've gone 3 of the first 3 calling podium.
That's you out of the game,
There's going to be a few interesting calls for me.
Strong Goede.
Yeah. So, right, we move on. Staying in Pool A, Japan, Jude Menezes' team. They actually knocked India out of Olympic qualification in Ranchi. Over to Goede, Japan, podium or nodium?
Nodium.
Luke Madeley, any surprises here?
No, unfortunately not. I don't think so. It's a nodium for me.
Sarah Juggins, backing that up 3 from 3.
I think they're a disruptive force. I think they can come up with a surprise, but I don't think they're going to be a nodium, but they are going to win best kit. They always do.
Not necessarily best numbers, though. As a commentator, not a fan, never have been, always air this. You've got to have strong, clear numbers. And Japan, I love the gold, but not always the easiest to see on a sunny day. I'm going nodium on Japan. Say that again, Sarah?
It's so pretty, though.
Yeah, pretty, not always easy to pick up, but pretty nonetheless. So I'm going nodium as well with Japan. I think their major achievement was beating India in India, personally. So we're coming to 5 from 6. We need to move on quickly, Pool A. Alison Annan's China. Ava de Huda, you know Alison well. China, Podium or Nodium?
So China's going to be my wild card. Yes. So I'm going to put them, out there. I'm going to back them.
That is a fascinating call. Luke, do you back Ava up, or are you saying no chance, Nodium for China?
I think the Chinese women are going to be competitive in every single game. They've obviously improved a lot over the last few years, but they're just going to miss out. Nodium from me.
The Nodium from Luke. Now, we have a special guest on the show.
This is Pepper. Pepper predicts. My wild card is either Belgium or China. So Pepper, when is it?
Yes, Pepper.
Oh,
There we
China.
go. China is my wild card. Belgium is Nodium.
And that's not fixed in any way, considering you know Alison Allan really well, Jugsy?
You saw, the dog chose.
Now, interestingly, I'm going all four of my predictions in Pool A. I think China, also as my wild card, are going to podium at Paris 2024. Which I know I'm going early. I know I'm being brave, and I'll probably be wrong. But there we go. Right, we need to move on to France, the hosts. Now, debutants here at the Olympic level. They have been to 3 Hockey World Cups, the French women. Ava de Huda, France women, Podium, Nodium.
Nodium for me. But yeah, I really hope that they're going to do well and just going to enjoy it, because like I've never experienced it, but to play Olympic Games in your home country, that must be so special and amazing. So I'm definitely rooting for them.
Luke Madeley?
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be a great experience for them playing home crowd, but like we've gone through, it's a really, really tough group. So yeah, Nodium for me, unfortunately.
Sarah Juggins.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, I think it's going to be a great springboard for them. I think they'll enjoy it. I think the crowd will get behind them. They might get a surprise result, but it's a Nodium for me.
I completely agree on that. And with that, we're going to move on into women's Pool B. First up in alphabetical order, the Aussies, the Hockeyroos. Ava de Huda, where do the Hockeyroos go within the tournament for you?
Podium for me, the Hockeyroos. Yeah. I think they've been playing quite well the last few months. So I do see them get a medal.
So a medal for the Hockeyroos for Ava. Luke, do you back that up? Do you concur?
Yeah, this is a really tough one for me because I don't want to spoil what my other predictions are, but it was between them and another team for my wild card, and I'm gonna say they just miss out. Nodium from me.
Sarah Juggins.
I'm right with Luke on that one. I think they're going to have 1 or 2 outstanding performances. We're going to get very excited, and then they're going to crash and burn.
And from my side, I think they've made brave decisions. I think they've got some real talent in the squad. I think they may miss some of those brave decisions, shall we say. And for me, as you've guessed, because I've already named my 4 predictions for Podium or Nodium, or podiums anyway, they're going to miss out, the Aussies, for me on this one. Right, Argentina women, silver in 2020, silver at the last World Cup. Ava, you played against them. You started that dreamy goal in the World Cup final back in 2022. Do Argentina get on the podium here?
They do, yeah. I really think they do.
Luke?
Yeah, I think they're the only team that's kind of put it up to the Dutch women in the last few years, so they're going to be right there. Podium for me.
So Luke's gone Germany, Netherlands, and Argentina. Sarah Juggins, Pepper predicting again, or are you predicting this time?
I'm going for this one, silver for Argentina.
Silver for Argentina.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay. And I can't add them in because I haven't got space. And actually, the reason, I will give a reason as to why I've not gone for Argentina. I think their forwards, since that World Cup final, and I have been back through the stats on this, I think their forwards have fallen away since that World Cup final. I think like a beaten horse in the Gold Cup, they've slightly, they faced their biggest rival. They came up short, and I think in Paris it might not go the way they want. So I'm going Nodium for Argentina in Paris. Right, next up, Pool B, still in the women's. Great Britain women. Ava de Huda, you know them very well. You can't say they're going to podium because you've given all 4 of your podiums.
I know, it was a tough one because I was in doubt between GB or China. So it was my last minute call to go for China. But I do think GB is a team that plays well in big tournaments under pressure. So yeah, I think they're definitely a force to be reckoned with, but I don't think they'll make a podium.
Luke, do you agree with that? What have you got? You have got one podium place left.
Yeah, they're going to be my wildcard team. To reiterate what Ava said, they seem to perform well in big tournaments, especially the Olympics. So I think that kind of experience will carry them through, and I think they're going to be there. Yeah, podium for me.
I'm
So,
everything that is anti-national bias because I don't think they're going to podium. I think we're going to be plucky losers, much as we are in every other sport.
And obviously, I'm saying Nodium because I've named Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, China so far. To give a reason, I think Great Britain going forward, when they get the ball forward quickly, have got the quality probably to podium. My concern for them at the moment, and it has been through the Pro League season, is ball pace at the back, really. And I think at Olympic level, they might struggle, especially with a squad of 16. I think they've left some young talent out, and the likes of Lily Walker, and I can't see them podiuming. Although, if you look at their record, it is sensational in terms of podiums in the last 20 years. Right, where are we on to now?
National bias. Talk too long on GB.
Fair enough. Point up, and haven't even scored one yet, so there we go. Right, on to Spain, 1992 gold medalist Eva de Goede.
Nodium.
Luke?
Yeah, Nodium for me. Not a huge amount to elaborate on there. I don't think they're strong enough to get. They may get through into the quarterfinals, but I don't think they're going to go much further than that.
Sarah Juggins, podium, Nodium.
I'm repeating myself here, but I agree with Luke. Quarterfinals for Spain, they're disruptors, but Nodium.
And I agree with all of you. I think Nodium for Spain as well this time. An interesting team next, just in terms of their story and where they've gone and the players within that story. The USA, Dave Passmore's team, podium or Nodium, Ava. It's going to be a difficult tournament for them.
Yeah, I think it's going to be difficult, but it must be so amazing then on the other end for them to actually be there and to have that experience. So it's a Nodium for me, but yeah, I think they deserve to be there, and I hope they're going to give it a good crack.
Luke, did you see them much this year in the Pro League?
Yeah, they were on the same schedule as us, so we saw them a lot. And the assistant coach of the USA team is Javi, that used to coach in Leuven. So lovely guy, good coach, but I think it's too high of a level, I think, for them. So Nodium, yeah.
Love watching them play. I mean, some of those breakaways that they performed in the World Cup were just mesmerising. The speed, the skill. I'd love to see them do well, but it's Nodium.
And I don't want to lose another point this early, having already been on -1. But Dave Passmore, one of the nicest people I think in hockey at the moment. I'd love to say that the USA would podium. I think they're on an upward curve. I can't see them making the podium. Maybe LA 2028. So Nodium for me. Right, last of the women's teams. Ava, be careful on the flagrant national bias here because of your husband's nationality, South Africa.
Yeah, it's a Nodium for me, but I really do hope that they do well. It's just the way that they have to do things, how they train, when they go on camps, like they have to do so much themselves. So for a country like South Africa to be able to represent your country, to be at the Olympics, it's already amazing for them to be there. But I really hope that they can, put up a good fight and maybe disturb one or two other countries.
And for you, Luke, South Africa?
Yeah, I think it's kind of reiterating the same point, just the exposure to that top level they probably haven't had. So I think they might struggle. Yeah, Nodium for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'd love to see them do well, but Nodium.
Completely agree. Too young, too inexperienced at the moment. And yeah, Nodium for me too. Right, we're going to race on to the men's. Pool A first of all. Eva de Goede, over to you again. Netherlands, 1996 and 2000 gold. Do they add Paris to that?
Yeah, it's a Nodium for me. And I know. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Does she gain points for non-flagrant national bias?
Absolutely. I'm dying to know what those reasons are, but maybe off air.
Luke, what are your thoughts? Netherlands, men, podium, Nodium.
I think they're going to podium. I was really impressed, obviously playing against them in the Pro League. I think they're really coming on. They're playing a really attacking style of hockey, and I think they're going to do well. So I think Nodium, or sorry, I say podium. Ooh, got that right.
I'm now beginning to question my own judgment, but based on Ava's reaction there, but I am podiuming. Am I podiuming them? I'm putting them on the podium anyway, the Netherlands.
I completely agree. I think Netherlands have been one of the most consistent teams over the last 18 months. They're young, they're exciting. For me, they podium too. So we got three of us saying the Dutch men are going to make it onto the podium, and the Dutch
Except for the
person,
Dutchie.
the Dutch person won't be allowed back into the Netherlands when she comes back from Paris at this stage, right?
Oh my word.
And then on to, still in Pool A, world champions, London 2012 gold medalists. That was a good game against the Netherlands. Germany. Ava, did Germany, careful what you say here, Ava, did Germany podium?
Germany do podium, yes.
Germany do podium. Reason?
I think they're just so good at the moments that it matters. Like, you've never beat them until the game's over, and they're just so good at like showing up until the dying second. So yeah, I really think that's why they'll probably be on podium.
Luke, what's your thoughts for Germany men? World champions, can they get on the podium at the Olympics? Missed out on, of course, in Tokyo, losing to India.
Yeah, I think this one might come back to bite me because you never really bet against the Germans, but I just have a feeling that there's other teams in a better position at the moment. So yeah, like I said, it might come back to bite me, but I'm going to say Nodium on the Germans.
Germany go into a Pepper prediction, so I'll be doing that in a minute.
And for me, I'm going to go with Luke and I'm going to say Nodium. And again, as Luke said, because I don't think they're in the position they want to be. I think they've had injury issues. I think there's been just them not quite playing the hockey they want to play. You're probably right, Luke. We'll probably all get completely stung because if you go against Germany, then that's normally when they go and win things. But I'm going Nodium for Germany. Is Pepper coming in now, Sarah, or later on?
It's coming in a minute when you get to the second team in the predictions.
Fair enough. Okay, cool. Right, so moving on. Third team in Pool A in the men's, Great Britain men. Very exciting in recent history. Ava, do they podium or not in Paris?
I think GB is going to be my wild card.
Why?
I just like them. I don't know, like it sounds weird maybe, but I just do like the way they play, and I've been watching some of their games and I really like their style. Like it's quite aggressive, full on. I just hope that they can like play it throughout the whole tournament. So yeah, I think I will give them a good chance and a good shout, yeah.
Luke, agree on that? You know them very, very well, Luke. You've played them a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that. So it's between GB and Germany for my wild card, and I think that they are going to the experience they've had, obviously at the Europeans last year, getting to the final and getting over the hump of beating a really top class nation in Germany in the semi-final. I think they're going to have a good tournament. They play really, really fast attacking hockey, and they're all unbelievably fit. Having played against them, I think they're in a brilliant position, and I think podium.
Pepper's back. We've got
Okay,
another
so
Pepper predicts.
Yeah, the wild card basically is between Germany and GB. My thoughts there are both teams have got the potential to do really well. It's just who could be most consistent on the day. Pepper, which do you think? Oh, completely undecided. Germany or GB? Germany?
Oh,
Not
I think she's
sure.
heading more towards. Yeah, I think
Yes.
it's Germany. There you go. Germany's my wild card.
This is going to be like that octopus about 15 years ago at the Football World Cup, isn't it? Pepper predicts. So Great Britain Nodium then for Jugsy. Germany in as a podium after Pepper predicts. For me with Great Britain, my concern is have they got a plan B after playing just the all guns blazing hockey? But I actually do think they are going to podium here. So I'm going podium on GB2. Right, we're running out of time. Max Caldas's Spain next. A team that have been, well, what is it? Silver medal 3 times in history. Ava de Huda, Spain, podium or Nodium?
I really like what Max is doing with the Spanish team. I really think they're playing quite well. I just don't think it is enough at the moment. They were on my wildcard list, but yeah, I just picked GB. So unfortunately, Nodium for Spain.
Luke, what's your thoughts on Spain? You've already got Netherlands and Great Britain as your wildcard.
Yeah, I think Spain are definitely improving. It's a young team, but my biggest fear about them is that they haven't replaced Cortez in goal. They've got a couple of young guys that are kind of vying for a position, but I think just in those big games you need a world-class goalkeeper. So I'm going to say Nodium.
Yeah, agree. Big disruptors, love their style of play. Maybe 2028 for a medal, but not this time.
And I agree there. And I'll probably hear about this from Max if he watches the pod at all, which he probably will at some point. I think what he's doing with the team is amazing. I think the youngsters coming in are brilliant. I think they've got some really clever old heads in there as well. But I agree with the goalkeeper point and the fact that they couldn't quite get past Belgium in the Olympic qualifiers as well. A bit of a form franca there. So for me, Nodium for Spain too. Right, France have been a difficult team for some, especially Argentina in World Cups. Ava, France, the hosts. What do you think there? Podium or Nodium for the French?
It's a Nodium for me.
Luke?
Yeah, just quickly, I'm gonna get pelters from the French boys in the Gatois setup, but yeah, you might see them pick up a result, but I don't think they have enough to podium, so Nodium.
Luke Madeley returns to pre-season training from injury and then gets beaten up by his own team in pre-season training. Jugsy, your thoughts?
Yeah, unfortunately, there'll be huge excitement every time they step on the pitch. They'll probably put in some brilliant performances, but I think they haven't got the consistency to get them onto the podium. So sorry, France, but Nodium.
And I think Nodium, but I think they will upset someone along the way, which could have a bigger impact on the podium. But I think for them, it's Nodium, if that makes sense, which is something they've done in the history of the World Cup. Right, lastly, in Pool A, South Africa men, of course, beat Germany 4-3 in Tokyo. So not a team to take lightly at all, Ava.
No, true. And I think they did quite well against the Netherlands as well. So they've had a few good games. I just really, I think it's going to be a Nodium just because they don't play at the highest level most of the time. So same as the women, they're really going to struggle with that. They do have some very exciting players though. And I do think they, like you said earlier about France, that they can upset some teams, but I don't think it will be enough for a podium.
Luke, agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. I think they're probably going to be the most exciting team to watch, if I'm completely honest. Loads of goals, both for and against. So really exciting games to watch. But yeah, Nodium, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think they're the sort of team that gets coaches really thinking about how they're going to deal with them because they are so unpredictable. But Nodium.
For me, Nodium as well. I think at the back is where they're going to struggle more than up front, which means, as you said, loads of goals going in, probably at both ends. Nodium for me with South Africa. Right, Pool B. The reigning champions up first. Belgium, Ava. Do Belgium in the men's get a medal in Paris?
Nodium.
Luke,
another huge goal.
Say that again.
I said another huge goal that I just made. Might be another wrong one.
Could be a bigger call for Luke as he plays and lives in Belgium and at Gantois. Luke, do you back Ava up on this?
No, I disagree. I think they have too much experience, and when those really tight games come, they've got Van Asch in goal, they've got Hendricks at the top of the circle. They've got so much experience. I think that will just get them through. Although maybe not as convincing as Tokyo, but I think they get to the podium.
I'm looking forward to the day that Ava watches the medal match between Germany and Belgium. I'm going podium for Belgium, yeah, for exactly the same reasons as Luke.
And for me, I'm going Nodium for Belgium. And this may be my worst call of the whole thing. And I have had sleepless nights over this. I know a lot of the team. I know a lot of the coaching staff. Xavier Reckinger will probably throttle me next time he sees me, I'd imagine. He's a lot taller than me too. Yeah, for me, I think they've got all the qualities to podium. I just don't necessarily, for some reason, think they're going to do it this time. Nodium for Belgium, although I may live to regret that. Right, moving swiftly on. India, bronze in Tokyo for the first time on the podium in a very long time. Will they do it again in Paris?
Yeah, I really think they will. Like, I love India. I think it's just the way they play, their speed, their skill, just such nice and friendly guys as well. So yeah, I really do think that they will podium.
Luke, where are your thoughts going on Craig Fulton's team?
Yeah, I think me and Eva are on a different wavelength with all of the men's ones. I don't see them podiuming. That's the word we're using. I do think they'll get to a quarterfinal. I think they'll give somebody a really close game, but yeah, I think other teams have more qualities than the Indians do at the moment. Although they are obviously very strong. So sorry, Eva, but Nodium from me.
Yeah, it's. I've been thinking about. This is probably the team that I've agonised over the most. Do they? Don't they? Do they? Don't they? And I've gone with don't they. So they're a Nodium for me, I'm afraid.
And for me, it was between India, Germany, and Belgium for my wild card, and India are my wild card because I think Srijesh in his last Olympics will be in more inspired form than ever and actually has been playing really well. I actually think their most crucial player of the whole thing is Sanjay. They've left out Jugraj, massive call, but they've left him out because Sanjay stepped up at the back end of the Pro League season. And don't forget, he can drag flick. And I think having two drag flickers, same with Great Britain, bringing Furlong in could be absolutely crucial. So for me, India, podium. Ava and I both agree on that one, but they are my wild card, as I say. Right, where are we? Team number 3 from Pool B, the Kookaburras. Ava, do they podium or Nodium?
Yeah, that is a definite podium for me.
Luke, are you going against Ava again, or are you agreeing this time?
No, we're in agreement this time. Podium for me. I assume everybody saw the thing with Matt Dawson, and he's removed part of his finger, so that kind of gives you a little bit of an insight into their mentality around the Olympics. Yeah, I think they're going to be in the gold medal match, so podium.
Me too.
Me as well. We've actually all agreed on something. So Australia are probably now going to win absolutely nothing in the men's section.
It's a death.
Because we have all just nailed our colours to the mast and said they are out now going to win. The Matt Dawson story, Luke, just to jump back to that really quickly, is the sort of story I absolutely love. I'm a big fan of the Paralympics as well. I'll be broadcasting at that in Paris later in the summer. And similar to Sam Ward, it's one of those sort of stories which, as you said, really shows how much these athletes care, the levels, the things, the body alterations they'll do to try and win a medal.
Yeah, it's incredible. I don't think I would make the same decision myself. But yeah, I think they just have a completely different mentality down there. So I actually didn't believe it when I first read it. I thought it was a deep fake or something, but yeah, it's crazy.
There are people listening to this who are going to be scrabbling to Google now to see exactly what you're talking about. So do you want to just fill us in?
Sure. Me?
Yeah, you.
Yep.
Oh, well, I just read the article that he had broken the top of his finger and that they kind of gave him it wasn't going to be healed in time. So he's had the top of, I'm not sure what finger it is, but he's had the top of his finger amputated, removed.
Ring finger.
His ring finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that he can, that's obviously a quicker recovery time to come back from a broken finger. So yeah, I mean, it's an incredible story, really.
It really is. It's one of those. I mean, if he wins a medal of any colour in Paris, wow. I have already flagged it up with Australian television as well. I know the host of the Australian television coverage, so I told him to get Matt on if anything happens. Right, it's bad news for Argentina, New Zealand, and Luke's beloved Ireland. We're going to rattle through them quickly. Ava, why Nodium for Argentina first? Gold in 2016, but none of us are saying gold in Paris.
No, true. I have to admit that I haven't seen a lot of them, but I just, don't think they're good enough at this moment to get a medal in Paris.
Luke, agreeing? You
Completely
played them in
agree.
Antwerp.
Yeah, completely agree. I don't think they have the same team that they had in Rio. So yeah, Nodium.
Yeah, I looked at them and thought, no, they haven't rebuilt well enough, so no.
Completely agree with them. I think going forward, fantastic. I think they bit too one-dimensional in terms of how they play at the back, sort of trying to sap the life out of games. New Zealand back in the Pro League. 1976 was the last time they won a gold medal in the Olympic Games. In fact, the only time they won a gold medal, I believe, in the Olympic Games, the men, that is. Ava, podium or Nodium for them?
It's a Nodium. I do think it's one of the teams that can maybe upset one of the teams that are going for podium, because I do think that they have quality players. It's just not good enough for a podium.
And you, Luke?
Yeah, I agree. Again, just being completely transparent, I haven't seen a huge amount of them play. I know that they were over in Poland in the Nations Cup playing, but I don't know a huge amount about them. So yeah, Nodium for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're a solid team, but that's probably the extent of my compliments for them. I think they're solid, and I think there's going to be other teams that will get around them and be tactically better.
And I completely agree with all of the above. It's a Nodium for me, and I think it will just be a case of they'll be there. That will be their victory, being at the Olympics, and they're a good team. I'm not dissing them in any way, but Nodium. Right, Ava, Ireland, silver medalist 1908, back in the Olympics for the first time. You'd like that, Luke. Back in the Olympics for the first time, of course, since Rio. They missed Tokyo. Podium or Nodium? We know the answer, but why Nodium?
I just think in the end, maybe just not good enough. That is probably the biggest reason. I love the anthem. So, if you guys would win a gold medal and they play the anthem for you guys, I'd be very happy. But yeah, I just don't think overall just not good enough if you look at the top teams who are playing.
And Luke, for you, you're nodding probably cautiously here, bearing in mind you've got to see them all again fairly soon.
I think we're going to get to a quarterfinal, and if we get out of the group and we get to play a quarterfinal, it'll be amazing. Just on the anthem, we actually, because we're representing Team Ireland, we sing Aráin na Bhín, which is the Irish, the national anthem that's in Irish. So you won't be hearing Ireland's call at the Olympics. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna get to a podium, but I think we're gonna do well. We're gonna win a couple of games in the pool, and we're gonna get to a quarterfinal.
Yeah, you win loads and loads of people's hearts, and as you say, probably get to the quarterfinal. But I think that's it. But every single time Ireland steps on the pitch, shame it's not going to be that national anthem. But I think all the neutrals are rooting for you. Sorry, for Ireland. National bias. So yeah, Nodium for me, but love to see them win.
I've always been careful in commentary to call it a sporting anthem, Ireland's sporting anthem, not national anthem, because it is a sporting anthem. And you'd find it difficult to beat the French La Marseillaise in France anyway. So probably just fair to leave Ireland's call at home. It is for me the best sporting song in the world, or best sporting anthem in the world. Nodium for them. Absolutely love what Mark Tumult is doing with Ireland. Love that you went and got results against Belgium, how well you played against the likes of Argentina, and sort of the resilience through the Pro League as well was superb. But I can't see them podiuming, although, as Luke said, I think a quarterfinal probably would be a grand result for them, and much deserved as well. Right, that brings us to the end of Podium or Nodium. So having given all our predictions, and I've got it all noted down here. We will put a graphic up on social media as well. It's time after, I think the umpire lost their whistle there, Jugsy. Sorry, not their whistle, their watch and their whistle. But It is the end of the first quarter. And that is the end of Podium or Nodium. However, in today's podcast, we do need to really quickly rattle through as well. So we're going to have a bit of extra time, as you have at the Olympic Games, of course, to do the first day score predictions. Now, on day one, you got 1 women's game and 3 men's matches on day one of the Olympic Games. So, Luke, I'm going to come to you first. I'm going to give Ava a break on this one and not make her answer first every time, because it is the Netherlands women against France. I'm asking for a score from first. So, Luke Madeley, the French, the hosts in the women's against the Netherlands. What's the score?
Oof, well, predicting the score is always going to be difficult, I guess. So I'll go with 6-1 to the Dutch women. Be nice to see
Big,
this,
but not a massive scoreline. Jugsy
9-0.
to France.
Yeah, no. I think Netherlands going to. What I've noticed in the past few tournaments is actually that Netherlands tend to start quite slowly in terms of their scoring rates, and they up them. But I think they're going to hit this one with all guns blazing, and it's going to be a huge 9-0.
Ava de Goede, what's happening in that one?
Well, because of the slow start, I was going for a 4-1. How's the face? Dan,
would you
like to comment on that?
Well, I'm going 10-0.
Ooh.
On that one. I think the Dutch might actually hit the ground running. Really interesting one I noticed on social media the other day. Jeanne de Waard put up a piece on Instagram saying she was surprised, or the face you make, which was a bit of a squirming face, when your coach tells you you're only turning up to the Olympic Games 4 days before. That was interesting, but I think they will hit the ground running. And I might be wrong, but I think it'd be 10-0. Right, Luke, men's first, or the first of the matches we're going to predict. I haven't actually checked the order of these. Great Britain versus Spain. I think it is the first match, actually, of that one. What's the score going to be?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a great game. 2 attacking teams. I'm going to say 3-2 GB. Close one.
3-2 GB. I just need to make sure I get this the right way around because I wrote it wrong there. Jugsy, Great Britain, Spain. No national bias either here, please, Jugsy.
No national bias, but I do think it's going to be a 4-2 win to GB. I think it's going to be incredibly close, incredibly exciting, but GB will out.
Ava, they're on your list.
I was going to go for a 4-3 to GB.
Oh, it's going to be a good first game, this one, blimey. I'm going 3-2 GB. I think it's going to be a great game. I think Spain are going to turn up and are going to make life difficult. But I've just got a feeling that Great Britain will get over the line. Right, still in the men's, 2 more men's matches soon. Netherlands versus South Africa. I think we'll leave Ava's prediction until last on that one. We'll go Luke first up. Netherlands, South Africa in the men's.
Yeah, I think this might be a big result. I'm going to say 8-2 to the Dutch. I think they're going to really want to start strong, send a message to the rest of the teams. And yeah, I think Janssen will score a few. So 8-2, I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to that. I'm a 7-1 to the Netherlands.
7-1 Netherlands. I'm going 6-2 Netherlands on this. I think the South Africans' scoring prowess might come to the fore, but I think the Dutch will have enough. Don't forget, of course, in Tokyo, they lost, I think it was 4-3 in their opening match after a bit of a worldie from Hertzberger to start with, and then a hat-trick from Hendricks. So don't always start brilliantly, the Dutch. Ava, I've written Luke's score in your column. I'm going to have to remove that now. What's the score? The Dutch men versus South Africa.
I'm going to go 5-3. I'm just so surprised that we all go with quite big scores. Like, is it normal for Olympics? Like when the pressure is on like that they're going to be massive scores? Or is it just me thinking that we are a bit crazy with all these scores?
I think actually, well, if you look at the South Africa scores, say again, Luke.
There was some big scores in Tokyo, if I'm right in saying. Maybe that's something to do with no crowd as well, but I just remember there being some big scores in the men's side anyway.
South Africa had a 9-4.
Yeah, when I'm explaining to people who are not hockey fans why hockey is so much more exciting than football, I point to the high scores. And there are a lot. So when you're pointing people, you realise how many high-scoring matches there are. That's my take on it anyway.
Yeah.
They'll probably all be 1-0s, won't they?
No, that would be quite boring. So I hope we get the big scores.
I think we can do a whole podcast on why hockey is more exciting than football, but let's not pick any fights there. Right, Germany versus France to finish off our predictions. This is for day one, so our next podcast will be after those matches have happened. Luke Madeley, Germany, France. What's the score in the men's there?
I think this is going to be a low-scoring one, actually. I'm going to say 2-1 to Germany, and I think they win it in the last few minutes. I think it'll be really close up until the last few minutes.
Sarah Juggins?
Lucas just slipped his crystal ball to one side where we can't see it. I've gone 4-2, so 4-2 to Germany.
4-2 Germany. Ava?
I'm going with 3-1 to Germany.
3-1 Germany, and Ava stole exactly what I was going to say. I think 3-1 Germany. I think they win, but I think France take the lead in that one.
Ooh.
We're actually predicting plays now, are we? We're predicting
I
what...
think France go 1-0 up. I think France go 1-0 up, and then Germany do what Germany did at the World Cup and just come racing back at them. And right, we're going to get this all up on graphics so we can put it out on social media. Guys, it's taken us way longer. Hang on, I need to blow my whistle for the end of extra time. Thank you so much for being part of De Goede, De Strange and De Jugsy. That is the end of episode 1, where we've done Podium or Nodium. We've also done our predictions, Ava, Jugsy and Luke and myself, for the opening day of action for Paris. Guys, I think what we can all say is it's going to be a really good 2.5 weeks.
Definitely.
Absolutely, yeah.
We will be back, every 48 hours or so. It may not be absolutely perfect on that, with a different member of the dream team each time. Ava, Jugsy and myself otherwise taking you through every episode. But for now, it's goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.